Hey everybody, in today's video I'm going to show you how to set up a router on a ESXi host on OVH. This is because OVH is something that's very fiddly how you can actually get a router on there. So I'll be showing you how to properly set this up and get it connected to the internet so you can host virtual machines on there and have your own separate LAN. So the first thing I want to do, which is going to be quite fiddly, it's going to take me a minute to show you this because I don't have IPsec. Since I don't have IPsec currently enabled on this host, it is going to be a very extensive waits, a lot of waiting as we try to make a request to the host, because it's going through two different fucking data centers to get to where it needs to get to. So, when you get your host, as you saw, it just went out again. You're going to get vSwitch 0, which is going to be the default one, and you're going to be given the VM kernel and the VM network. The VM network is the one that you're. I went ahead and renamed it to WAN, which I'll suggest you to do. So just go ahead and make sure your name is WAN, and once it looks like that, you should be good. Then go to vSwitch 0. Well, not vSwitch. You're going to create a new vSwitch, and I call it vSwitch 1. And do not give it any uplink ports. And on that switch, you're going to create another virtual machine network, which I've done rather. We're going to be using E101 production. That's going to be the one we're going to be using. And then once you've done that, you need to go edit for both of the switches and go under security and enable promiscuous mode. Set it to accept. And then once you've got these two switches, you got your WAN network one directly connected to their network, and you have vSwitch 1, which is not connected to their network, and you have your client network ready to go. This one, of course, will be not connected to anything because you're going to be routing to it in a few moments. Once you've done that, you're going to need to go ahead and SSH to your machine and get the pfSense ISO, the actual ISO itself, which will be iso.gz. Once you get it, you'll need to use GNU zip on the actual ESXi host to unzip the ISO out of there. Just do GNU zip and then space and then put the file name in there, and then you're going to go ahead and extract it there. Make sure that you're actually CD'd into your data store location. I should have to tell you how to do these things because I'm hopefully you know what you're doing. Because you don't know how to get into a data store in VMware, you may need to you need to actually do a little research before you start doing stuff like this. But got your two switches here, and you've got them both in promiscuous mode. Go ahead and, like I said, get that ISO for pfSense. And also get a Windows ISO or a Linux ISO, whatever you gotta do. Just get a OS on another virtual machine so you can actually access that unroutable network that's not connected to anything. So I've created two virtual machines here. I have the router, and then I have my desktop, which is a Windows machine I've chosen using. If you would click on it, would be great. And this Windows machine is connected to the E101, which is the client LAN network, whatever you want to call it. That is what I'm going to refer this E101. I'm going to convert that to the LAN network, and the WAN network I will consider to be the WAN. So basically, I've created a host here. It's got directly connected there. It's got the OS installed on it. Then we created another VM. This one is the actual router itself, which I've given 4 cores with 2 sockets, 2 gigs of RAM, an 8 GB hard drive, and I went ahead and assigned the WAN network. You can see right there. We got a WAN interface. We have the LAN interface, and I've created 2 extras which are disconnected. And we have those 2 extra ones for future expansion, so that way I don't have to reboot the host just to do that simple stuff. Once you've done that, go ahead and pop the ISO into that host. Go ahead and get the installation done. Once you've done that, go ahead and shut it down. Now also, when you're doing it, make sure you can choose which type of network adapter you want. I'm using VMX adapters, VMX Net 3 adapters. But yeah, make sure you kind of know which ones you want. You should know exactly which ones you want. Under the WAN adapter, you're going to go ahead and change the MAC address. So change that automatic to manual, and you're going to paste in the virtual MAC address that was provided to you once you've gotten your failover IP from OVH. Take that, paste it in here, and then that's pretty much all you got to do. That's kind of like customizing really any custom things you got to do. Once you've done that, power up, get your OS installed, and go ahead and get it ready. Assign the interfaces. It's going to take a while for the WAN to get past because it's going to try to DHCP. It ain't going to be able to DHCP, so just make sure you understand that you're not going to do DHCP. But once you've gotten those two steps done, you actually got a state like this. You can go ahead and come in and statically set you can Wait for DHCP. If it does not use DHCP, I suggest you, as I say, hopefully I've had to explain to you because I've had people ask questions from my last video. I tried this again. I'm doing this video again because last video I didn't like it, but follow the steps, step by step. I don't want to hear in the comment section, it don't work. Follow the step by step and you'll be able to do it. If I'm working with a fresh host, so I don't want to hear that you didn't do it right. Follow it step by step. Do not skip a step. Go into your host and actually suggest don't actually using DHCP. Go ahead and set your IP address. Now if you're keeping it at default, the default will be 192.168.1.1 will be the router, and their DHCP range will start at 100. This is the default pfSense stuff. So what you're going to want to do is put 192.168.1.99 CIDR 24, so that's 255.255.255.0, and the default gate will be 192.168.1.1, and make sure you set your DNS to 8.8.8.8, so that way you actually have just a generic, and just use Google's DNS just to have something to work off so we know when it's working. You see, mine are different because I'm pretty much trying to actually skip steps from on my behalf to speed this up because I need to get this on IPsec and get the server going, because the next video I'll be showing how to set up IPsec on these. So I want to get this moving a little bit quicker, so I already got my network configured and finalized. But once you have all this, configured and you actually are with static IP configuration, the reason why I said it because there has been issues where pfSense will not give a default gateway with DHCP, and you're going to be sitting looking stupid wondering why you don't have internet access because you didn't notice that pfSense didn't give you an IP address, IP address for the gateway. So when you're at the interface, go ahead and do admin, and the password is pfSense by default, and then skip the damn wizard. Click on the pfSense logo, skip the wizard. Nobody wants to see that. Now, first you're going to start off by configuring your WAN address. You see I've already done that just so when I rebooted it, it didn't waste my time with the stupid DHCP. Change it from DHCP to static IPv4. Turn off IPv6 because nobody uses that. Don't worry about the MAC address. You've already physically changed that up on the other settings. What you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and put in the failover IP that was provided to you and set it to 32 CIDR. Now you got to do it from here to do it, because if you try to do it from over here, it won't let you do it. It's going to say it's only going to give you up to 31, so you saw almost at 31 for a minute. So put in the IP address that is given to you for the failover IP address, set it to 32. Once you've done that, uncheck these two boxes too. Click on Save, Apply Changes. Give it a second to mess around. And now that you've actually gotten this guy with a WAN IP address, which is correct, what you're going to do now is you're going to go to Diagnostics, Command Prompt. You're going to type in these commands, word by word, route, add. Now what you're going to do is you're going to put in, now there's an easy way to figure out this IP. You're going to put in your ESXi's host IP, that being the host you're connecting to. In my case, it'll be 137.74.205.103. Remove the last octet and put 254. It's always 254. It's always 254. Did you hear me? I said it's always 254. Don't think otherwise. It's always 254. So whatever your IP address you're connecting to, that you're using your ESXi host on, remove the last octet and set it to 254. Space dash iface. And this is where if you're using the default, which is a E1000, it will be EM0. In my case, I'm using VMX Net 3, so it'll be VMX 0. Once you've done that, you're going to click on the execute command, which will give you this right here, say add host gateway EMX 0. They're going to change route add. You're going to put right in front of you, you're going to put default. You're going to remove the ending of this. You're going to click on add. This will say default gateway added. Now you should have internet access, and to test this, you should go under diagnostics, ping, and put in 8.8.8. And you'll see we're getting replies from 8.8.8. Keep in mind, so the few thing I understand is that now that what we've done, now we have internet access, and now this is the way it's going to have to do it to connect to the internet. One thing to note, like I've said, is that this is more of a hack to get it to work. because pfSense does not want to natively support the way they're doing this, which is they're using I forget how they're calling it. This is basically they're using they're fiddle fucking with ARP to get it to work to save IP addresses, which I can completely understand. In my case, I have not done this yet. I should be using the system, but once you have it like that, and you have your you have internet access now, you're going to go ahead and go to package management, and you're going to install 2 packages. You're going to go to available packages, and you're going to download shell command. Shell cmd search install. This will allow you to run those commands on start, so that way when the host boots, those same commands will be run when the host boots up, so that way it already gets internet access to begin with. So see, now it's added. We're also going to add one more package for, if this is VMware, go ahead and add open VM tools, just to open -VM, and install open VM tools, so that way VMware has awareness of this host and can be able to do things like soft restart and stuff like that without having to hard reset it and such. And it'll take a minute. But once you've done that, you're going to go ahead and go under services and go to shell cmd. You can see right there it's got the virtual memory controller initialized. You're going to go ahead and click on add command, and you're going to do the same exact command I just told you to do. So you're going to do route add, put in the like I said, for the gateway 137.74.205.254 space dash iface. Sorry if I'm not speaking properly. VMX 0 shell command, and just click on save. So route add, same exact command you did before. And I'm actually going to copy it to save me some time. Add another one. Route add space default. Now, actually, I know previously I mentioned -net is what you're supposed to use. Don't worry about it. I know previously I said -net. Same thing, works fine enough. So once you've done that, now these commands will be ran on boot, so that way when the server reboots, it has internet access. Now, you're not ready yet because pfSense have internet, but it has no clue how to route packets, because since it was not formally given a gateway properly, and it has no awareness of what's going on, NAT is not going to automatically create rules. So you have to manually create these rules. So we're going to go under firewall NAT, go under outbound configuration, and change it to the third option, which is manual outbound rule generation. Click save, apply changes. Scroll down, click on the first add button to add a rule. For every single network interface you create, for it to get internet access, you have to do the same exact rule. So you need to clone these rules for each network interface you create. That's on the LAN side or on the option interface side, whatever you're doing. So what you're going to do is you're going to go and click on WAN. Well, yeah, WAN interface, protocol any. Under network, you're going to put in the network that is your LAN network, or whatever network you're trying to set up. So in my case, it's 10.1.0.0. Solder 24, destination any, interface address. Click on save, and it should look just like this. You're going to then click on apply changes, and then now we should have internet access. So if we go ahead and go to Google, we should have internet access. If Internet Explorer decides to start responding within the next femtosecond, would be great. Or I could have just probably temporarily just lost my connection real quick to it, as it fucking wastes my time. Come on, VMware. Come on, stop dicking with me. There we go. My God, you sure do take your sweet ass time. But you'll see it right now. We went ahead and now we have access to the internet. Boy, oh boy, do you like to waste my time, computer. So, there we go. Now we have access to internet. The host now has internet access. Now you may want, one more thing I should note is that, let's say you want to access this host via the internet through port forwarding. So we're going to do that real quick. Boy, this is just like taking its sweet ass time to just fiddle fuck with mine. Now I'm going to be very nice. I want to show you real quick how to do port forwarding for this. I mean, it's simple. I mean, this is just simple. port forwarding, but sometimes people don't understand how pfSense works. I swear to God, if the thing does not stop fucking around, and will please, for the love of God, respond. It's also very good. I probably want to show you this, so that way I can stop dealing with this fucking interface, so I can actually get into the machine through the internet without using VMware's crappy H.264 console. Don't you love H.264? Why are they using H.264? It's really annoying. So you're going to go under NAT to do this. You're going to go under you're going to add a port forwarding rule. Under the WAN interface, TCP, UDP. You don't have to do TCP, UDP for this, but I do it anyway, just so I can get the UDP connection for a remote desktop. Under the destination, you're going to put WAN address. For port range, you're going to put in what you're going to connect for the port you're going to use. That is for the port you're connecting into, 3382, 3389. You're going to put in the host that you're connecting to on the LAN, which in my case would be 10.1.0.21. And then you put the redirected port, which is the host, which is the port on the local server, 3389. And then we're going to click on save. It should look just like this. Apply the rules. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go right click. We're going to go to System, Remote Settings, turn this on. Go here real quick to make sure that it actually does it. So click on that link. Go to Inbound Rules. Type in Remote. And you'll see that these are not created. We're going to go ahead and click Enable these rules. We're going to minimize that. Okay, okay, okay. Now we should be able to connect to this this host via the public IP address. So if I pull up a remote desktop connection over here, we put in 178. Am I reading that right? Yeah, I don't know what a 172. Oh, yeah, I'm forgetting. 172 office is another one. My network address is 33.34.24 at 3389, and we should. There we go. Get internet access, and we're gonna go. And in a few seconds, here we go. It will kick the session. And now we have just successfully created a router on an OVH host that's running ESXi. And we went ahead and set up a little small network. We set up a network for us to run a bunch of virtual machines on. We now have internet. We now successfully have internet access. We now successfully also done port forwarding for both inbound and outbound, so we can verify that we can also connect into the network as well, so we can go out through the network. We've also set this up so that way on reboot, it will automatically add those routes, so that way it can actually connect to the internet, and we're pretty much good to go. Now we can actually do work and actually have some fucking servers running. Later, if anybody wants it, I'll go ahead and show you proxy netting, so you can have a DMZ number that connects directly out to the internet and is not routed, so that way if you want to have hosts that are, if you want to have hosts that run through pfSense, so you can still get the management of pfSense, but actually are completely DMZ hosts, that could happen if you want that. But anyway, that's pretty much it. In the next video, I'll be showing you how to bridge your servers together with IPsec, as well as how to bridge data centers together. Currently, my data centers bridge together. This is an example of another host. This is a host that actually, if I show you this, these networks will be joined, because this is a completely different ESXi host, but these guys are on. Getting tired of hearing things falling. I'm hearing stuff falling, and I don't know where it's coming from. But you see, this one's on 10.1.0.20. You see why I put 10.21. But you'll notice that I can access resources that are on the remote data center, that being in this data center. So if I type in 192.168.0. fucking airframe IP address 54, I think it is. How about you kill yourself? Alright, 192.168.0. 65 is a simple one. There we go. Now we have access to the domain controller, and I'm actually domain joins the machine. This guy actually has its own, now have a domain controller on that server, as well as it replicates back, as well as I can access, like for example, I can access my storage array that runs on this local data center, even though the speeds are not going to be ideal due to the fact that my data center has horrible speeds, but obviously contains 99% of all the resources, SQL databases and everything are all on this side. But that'll be in the next video, where I'll be showing you how to set up the IPsec tunnel. So Hopefully you guys found it interesting, and you know what to do. Slap the like button and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. And I'll be doing more videos on OVH later, as well as we'll be doing workload management on GeForce GPUs, where we're doing CUDA processing and such like that, because we're going to be doing, just like the Mugi No CUDA project, we're doing that remotely with Ford TI, which actually I don't think the 1080s are actually something I'm probably going to like, because 1080s don't have enough CUDA cores, I don't think, compared to the 750 Ti's I'm running. So anyway, I will see you guys in the next video. You see that? My internet connection just pissed out. Yeah. Connections are garbage. IPsec, I need you to smooth this out. So, see you guys next video. That's what everybody want. IPsec smooths out these connection issues. So, see you guys next video.